You're watching Regina, Khair, and today I'm in Sudan, one of the least tourist countries in the world. Here, secret police agents will check you at every step. Filming is completely prohibited, and prices are higher than in Europe. This is non-tourist Sudan. Sudan is an unstable region. In recent years, there have been several military coups. Weekly protests here are still going on. This turbulence freaks tourists and they usually avoid this country. But besides that, it seems that the government of Sudan doesn't want tourists, because they constantly inspect you, check your documents, and demand money just to be in the country. And the worst thing that a tourist encounters in Sudan is a ban on filming. Officially, it's prohibited to take pictures or videos in Sudan. And now I'm not talking about the military or state facilities. In Sudan, in general, you are not allowed to film anything, even yourself or a street. In practice, of course, you can shoot attractions and streets, but if you want to take pictures of the locals, you should ask permission. Otherwise, they can complain to the local secret police, whose agents are everywhere in Sudan. And you cannot recognize them at once because the secret police officers don't usually wear special uniforms and dress up in casual clothes. And during the past week, these intelligence officers came to us twice and checked our documents. Frankly speaking, it was so unpleasant. It's like, never forget that you are in Sudan. However, in reality, we didn't have any problems with taking pictures or videos of locals. People in Sudan are so friendly and they actually like being filmed. Sometimes they may even ask you to take a picture of them. So, the only problem comes from secret agents. But our Sudanese friend thinks that the secret police agents are not dangerous. They are just poor guys without money who want to feel a little bit of power. And in order to avoid problems, he advises us to be polite when you talk to them.
Just smile on people's face and take it friendly. Don't try to push hard and they can let you go.
Even if the secret police is not so dangerous, they can really make your trip worse. They always want to check your documents. Every time, everywhere you go, and it's very unpleasant because you feel that you're constantly being watched. I really hate that. Except annoying agents, there are other surprises that wait for you.
Sudan, I have never ever experienced a hotel where you receive towers. This means you have to use your own towers.
What about soap?
No matter if you pay 30,000 or 25 maybe for a 3 or 4 star hotel, there are no towers.
What about soaps?
And soaps as well, no soaps.
What about toilet paper?
Yeah, you have to use the arse washer.
Now we are in the 3-star middle price range hotel in the second largest city in Sudan. Here is how the room looks like. At first sight it seems fine, but look. There is no blanket case. You do not know how many people before you use this blanket. And see? There are no towels, and let's go to the toilet. There is no toilet seat, and they also do not provide soap. This is my soap, by the way. And it's not just in this hotel, it's everywhere else in Sudan. Actually, this hotel is very good. One night costs here $30. Of course, if you want a hotel at least providing towels, you can find such options like a Corinth hotel in the capital. The price for one night here, it's for one person is $360. So expensive, but I think that they also provide towels, soap, and maybe even toilet paper. Oh my god, look at this. In the city center, along the Nile, you can see gardens and fields. Can you imagine anything like that in London, Paris, or Budapest? This kind of peasant landscape. If you think that you can easily communicate in English in Sudan, Well guys, no, this is not the case. Even in some tourist places, just few people can speak English properly. And you will always have to use online translator, but because the internet sucks here, you'll have big problems with translations. Learn some Arabic phrases before coming here. That will really help you a lot. Guys, look, they sell something made of tires. I don't have any idea what for. If you have, write in the comments. I was walking in the street and filming myself on camera. Within the first 3 days, you have to register at the police office. Suddenly, an old man stopped me and asked what I was filming, whether I had permission to film.
Why did you have to take a photo? You know that? You are not here.
A crowd of people appeared and surrounded us. They were calling someone, asked our passports.
Right?
No, but the people were not wearing a uniform. We waited for a moment until they were distracted and just fled to the hotel. They shouted after us and wanted to stop us, but we had already left. So now we are at the hotel, and our friend just said that stay away from these police agents because maybe we'll have some problems when we will leave the country. Yeah, we will see. The Sudanese government has created just disgusting conditions for foreign tourists because you have to pay for visa $150, which is a lot. And that is not it, because when you enter the country, you have to pay $10 more at the custom office to cross the border. And when you are in the country, within the first 3 days, you have to register at the police office, and there you also have to pay $20. Because without this registration at the police, you will be fined. We paid $180 per person, in total $360 for two, just to be in Sudan. Maybe it's not that much for someone, but for this budget, you can travel in neighboring Egypt for 1 week. It makes Sudan really unfriendly and so unpopular for tourists. There are just a few tourists in Sudan, and the main clients of Sudanese restaurants are Sudanese citizens. But they have very monotonous diet, and every day they eat almost the same foods like beans, falafel, a lot of bread, sometimes chicken or fish. So don't expect variety of food in Sudan. Maybe in Khartoum, but not in other places. I just wanted to show you how a restaurant, by the way, a good restaurant looks like. Here you can see the hanging raw meat, but that's normal for Sudanese and Egyptian restaurants. Here is the cooker, and something is boiling. There, that soup, and we're gonna eat this for breakfast. We are waiting for a fork and a spoon to eat this. Bye. From the north to the south of Sudan, I could easily find only beans. To tell the truth, after 1 week of eating beans, I was fed up with them. And really, I can't understand how people here eat the same food almost every day. Even if this video shows the bad sides of Sudan, it doesn't mean that the country isn't friendly at all. On the contrary, here, I met very kind and sympathetic people who always helped us. Especially I liked Abri. People in Abri are so welcoming because we were just walking in the street and so many people offer us tea, coffee and invite to their houses. And so far we couldn't even explore enough in this village. And one family also offered to stay at their place, like guests, and to stay for a night there. And we agreed because it's really nice to talk to them.
Hello, welcome here. Welcome to Abri and in my house. Life in Apri is very simple. All people is kind, all people simple here.
So.
It's really, Abri is so peaceful place, and the locals are so welcoming and friendly, and it is like, you know, a small paradise in Sudan because it's very green. People do farming. Yes, it's hard job, it's hard work for them, but anyway, they're so friendly, and it seems that they really love tourists and especially foreign tourists from abroad because there are not so many foreigners here, and it's interesting for them to talk to us. So if you are in Sudan, for sure you should visit Abri because people are so nice here. I can't count the number of invitations for tea and coffee in Sudan, but it happens very often. Usually it looks like this. We were just walking in the street and the locals invited us to drink coffee. And here we are drinking coffee on the carpet. You see? Very tasty, by the way. So if someone offers you tea or coffee, don't hesitate, just drink it. Also, one of the reasons for the unpopularity of Sudan is its bad image in the media. But coming here changes your mind very quickly.
And I'm pretty sure when I come back to Sudan, I will not tell them that Sudan is bad, that Sudan is terroristic and stuff like this, because all this Western media is just telling Sudan is like a third world country and they belonged once to the terroristic.
I also think that Sudan is not about terrorism. This is a poor but safe country. Even though some areas in Sudan look poor, in general it's pretty safe to travel here. We even hitchhiked several times because we couldn't find any transport to some places. And everything was fine. It is especially safe in small villages like Abri, where everyone knows one another. But in big cities like Khartoum, it's not recommended to walk alone in the streets in the evening or at night because you may be robbed or kidnapped. Yes, I heard stories like that. So, in Khartoum, always try to stay with other people in the streets. If you know some locals, ask them to accompany you and show you the safe areas. Guys, look, it's a cannon for food. A beans dish in Sudan. I guess there is enough food for the whole city inside this cannon. I consider Sudan as a non-tourist country, not only because of lack of services and the government prejudice against tourists. This country has unreasonably expensive tickets for any kind of attraction. This is the Fufa archaeological site in Khair, in the Nubian region of Sudan. And how much do you think the entrance ticket costs here? It's $20 US. $20 US to see the basements of the ancient buildings here. I think that is too much because in Egypt, in many other countries with more preserved archaeological and historical monuments, the entrance tickets cost from $5 to $10 US, but not 20. And I will tell you more. The average price for archaeological and historical monuments in Sudan is exactly $20 US. So anywhere you go, you should pay a similar price. It's just not one place, it's everywhere here. Probably it's even okay to pay so much money. But for this, you are supposed to get some facilities and conveniences, but not in Sudan. For example, there is no direct transport to the main attraction in the country, the Meroe pyramids. You need to get on a passing bus and get off in the middle of the desert. Now we are going by bus to visit the Meroe pyramids, which are located in the desert between two cities. And you know, the bus is full and people are even sitting in the hallway. How we going to come back? Because the Meroe pyramids are in the middle of the desert. If the buses coming back are also full like this one, we will stuck in the middle of the desert. Okay, let's go. Here you can see the road, and there, in the distance, the pyramids of Meroe. And now we are going there. This is the main archaeological attraction in Sudan, Meroe pyramids. And as you can see, there is no other soul around. Just two noisy camel riders. Of course, there is no navigation and amenities on the territory of the site. From the outside, it's even difficult to understand how to enter the place. But when you do, you have to pay $25 per person. After all, it's hard to call it the main tourist destination of the whole country. But you know what is the nicest thing here at the Meroe pyramids? Look, there is no one else, just two of us. And you can have this place for yourself and enjoy it without hassle, without crowds of tourists, as in other places, also in Egypt. The pyramids have suffered a lot in the past. Most pyramids in Meroe, frescoes inside are almost completely destroyed, and there are just several parts preserved, like here in this tomb. Despite the fact that the pyramids of Meroe are included in the UNESCO list and they should be preserved intact, they were restored in a dubious way. Some pyramids are restored, but it looks artificial. And what do you think? Should they have been restored or no? Many people in the internet wrote that the pyramids are badly damaged and the relief inside the pyramids are destroyed. But actually, I really loved the place and it turned out to be better than my expectations. So I really recommend you to visit it if you come to Sudan. But as I mentioned before, it's not that easy to go there and back. So the last problem now is to catch a bus to City Atbara. Hopefully we will find a car or a bus there. It's good that people in Sudan are so friendly and ready to help. We could easily find transport back. A driver of a passing truck dropped us to the city. He didn't even take money from us. Talking about the internet, it's also problematic here because, first of all, it's very unstable. It can just stop working several times a day without any obvious reason. Secondly, it's very expensive. Thirdly, it is so slow. Even in expensive hotels, the speed of Wi-Fi doesn't exceed half of megabytes per second. In the ranking of countries by internet speed, Sudan is almost in the last place. Therefore, it's hard to work remotely in Sudan. But what doesn't like here is dust. You see the guy cleaning his car? In Sudan, everything is dusty because a vast territory of the country is taken by the desert. And as a result, clothes became dirty very quickly and everything else. Houses, cars, chairs, tables, everything gets greasy here very fast. And if at first the dust was like a funny feature of the country, by the end of the trip it was so hard to bear it. Oh guys, Sudan is so dusty everywhere, like in villages, also in the capital in Khartoum, and my throat and my nose frankly speaking hurt all the time. It's really, for me, it's like unbearable to walk in the streets without a mask. Despite the fact that Sudan is not a cheap country and you need to be ready to pay constantly, you are unlikely to be able to use your credit cards. Due to the sanctions under which the country has lived for more than 20 years, there is practically no opportunity to use MasterCard and Visa cards here. In general, this ATM works, right?
In general work, yes.
But not now because there is no money.
This time is out of service. Maybe work after 1 week, after 1 hour. 1 week? one hour.
After 1 hour?
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Inshallah. As you see, it is difficult to withdraw cash from your banking card, and it's better if you take with you cash, because our friend has only a banking card and he can't withdraw money. As to our friend, he eventually managed to find the only ATM in the city where he was able to withdraw money from his MasterCard.
So if some of you guys is lacking money or has forgotten to bring hard currency with him, there is only one Islamic bank. It's called Faisal Islamic Bank, and this is the headquarters here in Khartoum. It seems like this is the only place in the downtown where you can draw money if the ATM is working. And for me, luckily, it has worked today. So I've got a lot of money, you can see.
Before, I complained that the sites in Sudan are very expensive, but in fact, many attractions can be viewed for free. Many historical and archaeological sites in Sudan are free. For instance, we are near the Barkal pyramids in Karima, and there is no one here charging for the tickets, so they are not under protection now, and everyone can visit them for free. I'll tell you more. At some most popular sites, there is security, but usually you don't need to pay a full entrance ticket because you can negotiate a discount, and it really depends on your negotiation skills. Even though Sudan is a non-tourist country and mainly people are welcoming and friendly here, for sure, during a trip you will come across some people who try to deceive and make money on you. So don't relax. Ask and negotiate about the price before getting a service. I got into such a story myself. I had to cross the Nile to see an attraction, and I was deceived by the locals. After coming back from the Saya Island, actually, the boatman here tried to overcharge us, and they overcharged like maybe 10 times more than the decent price was. And finally, let me remind you that there is an unstable political situation in Sudan, and we unintentionally ran into protesters who almost robbed us. Actually, I was so shocked, I couldn't even take any pictures or videos from the accident. We were driving in the taxi along the road, and at some point tear gas just bombed our nose, and we realized that we are somewhere close to the protest. And suddenly a group of young people came to our car and started hitting with their big stones our car. Our taxi driver closed the windows, thanks God, because I think that they really wanted to take our camera because we were filming with our phones and camera the traffic jam because of the protest, and I think that they really wanted to take that. Thanks God, we really managed to escape, but it was so scary. So really, please be very careful when there are protests nearby, because some people may really hurt you and even rob you. I don't think that the government is trying to make life for tourists unbearable here. They just have so many other problems to solve, and the development of tourism is not a priority here. But the fact that Sudan is a non-tourist country is its advantage, especially for travelers who are interested in seeing how people actually live, not just walking around the sites. Sudan is a place for exploration. Everything here is authentic, and here you'll have real adventures. You will never forget your trip. You are watching Regina Khair. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, like it, and maybe write a comment. See you.
Coffee.
Play natural, don't smile.
Okay. Schmeckt gut. In German you say schmeckt gut.